Hello, hello. Welcome back to Magoo's Roots. Hope everybody's having a blessed day. So this is my final thoughts on X-Men '97, the whole season as a complete whole. Man, again, I've given, if you've been following my reviews, man, I've been giving this show high praise, and man, it absolutely deserves every single bit of high praise. It absolutely deserves every single bit of high praise, man. And I think I'm really big on narrative, and great storytelling. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been like I stated all the time. I collect comic books and figures and stuff like that ever since I was a kid. These characters have been around for ages, man. I mean, going back from the 30s, like 30s, the 40s, the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, these heroes have lasted so long. But the reason they've lasted is from great storytelling. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those legends from the past, whether it be Stanley, you know, um, Kirby, so on and so forth, all the way up to, Jim Lee and everything, you know, uh, Chris Claremont, all of them, you know, what's made these heroes last over time is just great storytelling, and this show absolutely picks up the ball and where the '92 season left off, and just rolls with it. It absolutely rolls with it. And I think one of the things I love about it is the team itself is the focal point. You know what I mean? Every single member has their moment. It's not just we're just going to focus on Wolverine like the movies did. And I like there's here's the thing about the X-Men movies. They have great movies, good movies, okay, and bad. it's They got a whole wide spectrum with the X-Men movies. But with this show, man, it was absolutely great because it focused on the team as a whole. You know what I mean? From starting out, as you can see, that Magneto takes over the team because Charles left it in his hands. For seeing Storm lose her powers, and that UN part, that was tough, man. And then all the way leading up to Genosha, with Bastion coming in. I mean, man, it just great storytelling all the way through. Everything linked up perfectly. You know what I mean? And it was just absolutely amazing. You know what I mean? It was emotional. There were times where it was extremely emotional, like the Genosha episode. That was heavy. I think that was the heaviest episode. My personal opinion, that was the heaviest episode because of what happened, what took place, and actually seeing them get massacred by the Sentinels, man. And we all know what happened to Gambit. Like that was tough. And seeing Rogue's response to that, Rogue's reaction to that. Of course, she's gonna lose it. Her and Gambit, like they're the couple. They're the couple. So that was, to me, that was the heaviest episode. It was a great episode. You know what I mean? Leading off to that, you see Bastion capture Magneto. Then Magneto, pretty much declaring war when he goes up to the northern caps, shuts down all the power around the world, all the power. That was amazing, man. Like I said, this show was just great storytelling. Going into the action was amazing. The action was amazing because the story set up those great action pieces, man. One of the things I love about the action, that the animation was very fluid. Like, I'll give you an example. When Mr. Sinister fought Jean Grey, that was great. It was absolutely great because how fluid the animation looked. Even when Rogue and Bastion had their fight in the season finale, that was really cool to see. You know what I mean? Even the point where Nightcrawler, Morph, and Wolverine and Beast are fending off the X-Mansion against, the Sentinel hybrids. And Wolverine has that scene where he's free falling from the sky. And, Nightcrawler picks up the swords, and you actually see what a warp looks like, how they did it. Man, they were extremely creative with the action. They utilized all the mutants' powers very well. Absolutely very well. You know what I mean? Even the scene, where at that season, episode 9, when you see Magneto rip the adamantium out of Wolverine, that was great because that goes back to that great comic book panel that happened way back in the day that comic fans know about. So that was really cool to see, man. I mean, very great. Yeah. So narrative, action, the characters were amazing. Magneto had a great arc in it. It was great to see Charles come back. Cyclops. It was great to see Cyclops handling that. Man, I wish he would have left it to me, but actually seeing Charles again, the whole Madeline and Jean, Rogue, you see Rogue and what she's going through. I mean, just the transition in Rogue was amazing. You know what I mean? It was absolutely amazing. I mean, going back, real quick, there's another thing I forgot about the action piece. Morph. The scenes with Morph were so cool because Morph would actually transform into characters that we know and love. You see, I think he changed into Magic, Psylocke, Colossus, Juggernaut. I saw him changing to Angel the first episode, the Hulk. So Morph had some great scenes, man. Morph had some really great scenes. But, going back to the characters, I thought every character had their moments to shine. Nightcrawler just being that shining light and optimistic example of the team, holding on to his faith. That's one thing about Nightcrawler. He holds on to his faith, and he's like, the voice of reason for the team. Aurora, she's like the mother. Storm, she's like the mother. So you see her arc and what she goes through. And like I said, man, the story was so great because every single person had their moment. Everybody had their moment, man. I absolutely love that. You know, Another thing I really did love, the cameos. I thought the cameos were cool because it wasn't just cameos for cameo's sake, but in that episode when you see Magneto, go to the North, the North Pole and shut off the whole power to the whole world, you see how it affects the whole world. So in that moment, there's heroes and villains nationwide. I mean, globally. You see, Silver Samurai, see Omega Red. I think Omega Red's in Russia, Silver Samurai's in Japan. You see Spider-Man in New York City. You see Iron Man and Captain America. You see Daredevil, you see Cloak and Dagger. You see all the different heroes and how they're affected and how they're trying to handle their certain territories and fighting off the human, the Sentinel hybrids. Even they did Peter and Mary Jane at one point. So, man, I thought it was absolutely great. The negatives, I can be honest with y'all, there's not too many negatives, and I'm not just saying it for just to say it. The only negative that I will say that I stated in a few episodes was I felt like the outlines, they were like, especially in the first few episodes, they were really hard outlines in the animation. It didn't have that grit to it at first. Now later on in the episodes, I really didn't see as much of it, especially in the action pieces. But yeah, there were like some really strong hard outlines around the characters that I was kind of wasn't feeling. It felt more archery type, you know what I mean? And I understand it because of times, you got to keep up with the times and everything like that. But that was, I say, the one negative I really wasn't feeling as far as the complete season. Other than that, I absolutely love this show. Absolutely love it. I thought it was amazing. So yeah, man, this was phenomenal. Now, leading up to my last point, what do I think's next? Because of the season finale and where, there's definitely going to be a season 2. There's definitely going to be a season 2. You see Apocalypse, so then you see Jean, you see the X-Men scattered in different times, different time periods. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a season 2. If season 2 is good enough, hopefully there's a season 3. Now, will it spawn off other superhero shows from the 90s? I think the word going around the most is Spider-Man, because Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man show in the 90s ended on a cliffhanger. So I think Spider-Man will definitely get his just due, returning if it's good. If it's good, don't just do it just because, X-Men did great. Now Spider-Man's going to do great. Take your time with it, put the right people behind it, and if it's great, they respect the source material. They have a great story they want to tell, and that's the focal point of their reasoning for doing the show. I'm all with it. I'm absolutely all with it. I know back in the 90s when I grew up, you had Spider-Man, you had X-Men, you had Fantastic Four, you had the Hulk, Iron Man. You know what I mean? I think Silver Surfer had a show at one point. I wasn't a big fan of it, but yeah, man. I like to see a Fantastic Four show. You know what I mean? They even going back to the cameos. You see Black Panther at one point. So yeah, you can do an Avengers show. You can do a Fantastic Four. In the Fantastic Four 90s show, you had Ghost Rider, you had Daredevil, you had Galactus and Silver Surfer, the Skrulls. So there's a lot of things, the Inhumans, there's a lot of things that they can really go off of, with these Marvel shows if they continue it. But I will definitely say, in my personal opinion, this is the best thing I've seen Marvel done since the last Spider-Man movie. I haven't been really fond of a lot of the Marvel live action lately. I really haven't. I'm being straight up honest with y'all. And I think animation-wise, I will put this show against anything live action or animated post-Endgame. That's me personally. Post-Endgame, I will put this show against anything. Now, the last Spider-Man with all 3 Spider-Mans, that was great. I love that one. But as far as anything else Marvel-related, superhero-related, well, there's some great stuff out there, but stick to Marvel. Anything Marvel-related, I'll put this X-Men 97 show against anything, man. This is absolutely amazing. If you can, please check it out. You know what I mean? My reviews are spoilers reviews. So is this recap of everything. Everything I do is a spoilers review. So yeah, if you haven't, please go check out that show. Come back, check out the reviews. Hey, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment in the comment section. What's your favorite episode? What's your favorite moment from this season? Definitely, I'm all ears. I love to sit back and engage with my audience. So hope everybody has a blessed day, and I'll see you soon.